turn up, and it's from 5 to 7.
Which money Thursday is a public holiday.
Hello.
About receiving allowance, Kuvajan to March and your public holiday.
About receiving allowance, the lucky ones. Actually, many people wish for it to be on a Friday.
Yes, Saturday. Friends, let me ask a simple question. Kawempe North had the by-elections.
Yes.
And so far there is a member of parliament that is representing it. Kati ajakudamba mulonde over that is.
Absolutely, you know
every seat is declared vacant.
Yeah.
But the money that was spent on that. That is potea. So that means but they're contesting against him. They have an opportunity to come back.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be having a glimpse of the 2026 general elections. And in case you have any opinion or feedback or to participate in this discussion, Jagalokose number 0 It's on WhatsApp, and also you can send a direct SMS. We'll be reading those comments very promptly, or tag on our social media handle. Ababaliko TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and of course quite a lot more. Let's dive into the discussion. Susie, do you know when the elections are going to happen for 2026? Let me pass it on to Stuart. Stuart, oinakoba obineba oja abagala kwesimbawo.
Agala kwesimbawo. Yes, I have a few. Just hope tonight. But the elections they are planned to be between January to February 2026.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
isn't it
like April? No. Yeah, May.
It was moved.
Yeah, it was
supposed
because you go through the campaigns, yes. Elections.
Because remember last time they were negotiating the money might not be enough, but eventually it came through. That's when they pushed it to May
immediately.
At the beginning of the year.
Right now, people should be campaigning, which is not.
Now, you guys, have you seen the trend of social media influencers and also musicians? I mean, getting into the political arena. Are they eyeing the money that comes with it, or they want to create change in their communities?
I want to believe, for example, the journalists. Journalists are on ground. They go, never saka maulide, never lava the truth, the real situation on ground. So I want to believe that is one of the things that pushes them to get into politics. I mean, we've seen journalists. Agnes Nanduto. I mean, there are so many journalists that came out and are still coming out. And
Honorable Joyce,
Honorable Nanduto, all those. Now there is a statement. Last month, one of the TV stations, Yasimula journalists who are going to stand for elections. A bunch of them. And this particular journalist said that, I mean, if you see something and you keep quiet, that means you condone it.
Yes.
And so I think they have been exposed and they have seen what is going on. So they are, in that way, maybe motivated.
Not only journalists, even the musicians. And they're so determined.
I think we're looking at someone they have had some influence in the people. It's always automatic to think that you can actually make a change in the community with the influence you've gained, probably in the journalism sector or in the music industry.
Joe, what you've shared is really profound, and I would like to pass it on to Stuart. Stuart, before these journalists or musicians or anyone seeking to contest for any position, I believe there are certain requirements needed to be met. Could you be knowing some of those requirements?
First of all, academic, it's soccer, academic qualification. conditions, you need to be a citizen. Yes, oteekwa okubanga oli citizen w'eggwanga registered bulungi okubanga osobola okuprotestinga. Ekyokubiri olina okuba qualifying even academically.
Our citizen registration over birth is what qualifies. To one of our citizens who are registered. Because they've been registered.
We also had Mayor, this Muzungu Mayor.
Sanjay.
Yes.
The doctor no way machine.
Also
Dr.
Clark.
Ian
Clark.
Clark. Yes, nothing about Ian Clark. Yeah, so by registration, I know kubanga oli citizen, obanga wazalibwa wano, kubanga wawandisibwa wano. Yes, ekirala olina okubanga qualifying academically. Different positions is requiring different academic requirements. For example, for MP, olina okubanga wamala senior 6 over academic A-level over an equivalent to the A-level certificate. Waneno nabasinga waberanga olutalo.
Naye Stuart, personally me I'm disappointed. Kubanga you realize that for someone to contest for the president, to be presidential candidate, there must be a senior 6. Is it senior 6? At least like the minimum level, because I feel like for the presidency
Bandi badenga balenga ko bachelors or masters.
Bachelors
But also let's not forget the issue of age.
Yeah.
You should be of age now for presidential. You should at least be 35 years old. Then for the MP, you can be as young as 18 years old.
Who was the youngest? What was the youngest?
18.
But
18.
yeah, 18. Then also you should.
The youngest is today she's 20. The one who succeeded.
The dad. Akuze.
Yeah, but she was the youngest.
It's been years.
It's been years. But Ella, you can still see her in her small body. She was in her.
Is that not Honorable Lillian? The state minister of disaster.
She's from the north, representing some area
the north. Then she was
nekati mukulu mutakuwa mukati msinga n'obuto. Then also political party membership. You should at least belong to a political political party, and we've seen these people shift.
Independent.
Yeah. Then we've seen some people shift from one political party. But I want to believe the reason why they advise you to be in a political party so that you can have support.
I also think it's
you can have people. Yeah, you can have people to push you.
But I honestly speaking, that political party issue, maybe to even my own opinion.
Yes.
Last time we elected and voted, that's when I saw how confused they can be, because you cannot belong to this political party and then you subscribe to another, then kakati odiwa dipi ate nogenda ko na yengo ato yamba the red
ngogeze bakyalirako
ngogeze ate ne bako electing then no
That was the time where Norbert Mao came out and said Mudipi tuina watermelon nga kumbuza green
mudaza red
ne MP we mukono omubaka Betty Namboze bacherekesha also came out and she said mwagambe tuinamu watermelon ne nafe tuinamu ensuju we have pumpkins mudaza green mudangaza yellow.
But if you belong to a political party, aren't you allowed to visit another political party? I mean, we mean peace.
There's no peace.
No peace? So you should not visit.
Why are you
Are you not content?
No,
creating good relations.
Earlier, you must belong somewhere.
Yeah.
You must belong somewhere.
You must be loyal to your party.
You see, when the NUPWEV came in and Chakulani Center comes up and the National Unity Platform and all that, we had members from the Democratic Party come out and they're like, kakati fe tugenzeeko kukyalako mu side ya National Unity Platform naye nga tukyali ba DP. Kakati n'omukulu Nobert Mao naye n'agamba fe tukyali mu DP newankubadde nga tusazeewo okukwataganako n'akyalirako gonda.
Me, I want to believe it's okay.
Yeewangulira ogufo.
But also, let's not ignore the fact that you need money. It's a big requirement. You need money to run those campaigns. Yeah, actually, for some positions, I believe they sponsor you. They give you some money from the government, yes, or from your party. But you yourself, you also need money. Kubanga, there is you need a lot that is involved.
Yesterday, on national news, it was said that as a matter of fact, for example, the NRM uses close to 20 billion
in campaigns.
Now, they collect money. For example, when you are going to, we are trying to talk about why you need money. When you are going to become the party president and you want to stand for that position, you pay, in NRM you pay 20 million and to stand. Yes. As in that position in that party. Yesterday the FDC came out and said you pay 5 million if you want to become the party president, to represent the party.
Yes, I went in.
Kakati waliwo abalala aba 15. So everyone has to bring that money. And then if you want to become an MP, there is 5 million, there's 3 million, there's 2 million, and FDC was the lowest with, I think, is it 500,000? Some years like that. And then their LCs are free and all that. But this money, for example, the Honorable Francis Babu came out and said that last campaign, the NRM collected over 7 billion from their nominations.
7 billion.
Yes. Now that money is received and given back to the members that are contesting.
Okay,
to support. Now that is also the money that their party president also is given, because everyone is apportioned some money. But the issue of money is very, very important. For example, it has been said and known that the Electoral Commission needs over 800 billion to organize an election.
Yes.
And also the EC, Electoral Commission, also has to give candidates some money.
Yes.
You know, so when we talk about the money aspect, is a very important issue and aspect, because if you don't have money, you can only go far. You can only go for the fuel prices are high. You have a team that you have to look after. You have to feed them. You have to transport them. You need cars and stable cars. You need signposts. You need, you get to an area, mobilization. For example, if you are going to the north, you need a mobilization team from the north who understand that language.
Yes.
You are not going to get a gene who understands a certain language to take them to the east or to, you know. So, and all that is money, because you must be able to facilitate your team.
And Jay, looking at the financial year, because the Electoral Commission between the past three financial years, they've been asking spending between 600 to 700. So every other day, I think it keeps increasing. When you look at someone to contest to be the presidential candidate, they have to pay 20 million. And then, 20 million you've paid in your party, 20 million now you're paying to the Electoral Commission. And if someone is looking at contesting for Member of Parliament, they have to prepare their 3 clean Ugandan million shillings.
Earlier, by the way, it was 2 million.
Earlier, it keeps changing. But me, what I'm looking at, you say these are people who belong to the political parties. Then how about an independent candidate?
That is the thing, that if you come out as an independent candidate, you definitely look for your own resources. Because you are not supported by
anyone.
You're not supported by a party. We've seen independent people that come through candidates. For example, the former lady
who contested for presidential.
Yeah, she came out as an independent. Katumba. Katumba Oil.
But Katumba was even 35 years old.
I mean, if you are 18 years and above, you can contest. So he might have been young, but so you finance your own campaigns without any support. That is why it's good to belong to a certain party.
You don't spend as much.
Something that when we talk about belonging, one thing I have noticed is that when you go to parliament, for example, as an MP, if you don't have a site, it is somehow complicated.
Yes.
You feel alone?
Especially because there are times when you need to make decisions, and you say you're either standing for yeah or nay, and you must stand up and say, I am for this, I am not for this, and you cannot be either or. You must have a belonging, because even going, for example, Chagulanyi came out, Honorable Chagulanyi came out and said that in this election he needs 100, over 100 MPs from the north to get into that parliament. Why? Because the more numbers you have, the more you can make decisions,
the more power
you can influence, the more voices you have. But if you go as an independent, what you're speaking for? Okay, for your...
What you get out for the interest of the citizens that you represent.
But
what's your percentage of citizens?
No support, Joina. Yes. So this issue, yes, it was opened up, but I want to believe that when you are when you belong to a party, you're at an advantage.
Just allow me make this joke. Colleagues, the money will come. Well, diving deep, I'm curious to know why people shift from one party to another. You know, the watermelons and the pumpkins. Because the loyalty is key if you subscribe to a party. But I don't know why we see people cross parties over time. Is it because they're dissatisfied or their expectations are not met?
Maybe, but I remember when it came to, you remember when NOPA just came? And people in different political parties, they kept shifting. I think also because of fame. Because when NOP came, it acquired a lot of fame.
Yes.
And that's the time when Bobby Wine had just joined. So he had this whole backup. There was a lot of fame. We saw very many people shift from their political parties to join NOP. And I remember when it came to voting, Nabagamba Mugambi taking awadi NOP. Awadi, what was their carbonero? Umbrella. Walaba umbrella just tick. And we're just ticking, by the way. Or why you have results, or why you don't have, it's okay. But just
that past election, I happened to be a polling officer at one of the polling stations.
Oh, really?
Actually, part of the money that you talk about that the EC needs to use is also to hire polling officers.
Now, what happened was people came. Some of them didn't know even the people that were on the ballots.
Yeah.
Wow.
But all they knew,
umbrella.
Where you see umbrella, you just stick. And it was quite challenging even after the election. Yes, we've had complaints over time that people were complaining. Did you even have a reason? At that point, it was a wave.
Excitement.
It was a revolution wave.
There's a lot of also excitement. Results. But you would go, you tick, and you don't know the person's name. As long as it's an umbrella.
I also want to believe there are some times when people are frustrated in their parties. Nogenda okusanganga kati tekuyambye kati n'ogamba owaayi ndowooza asazeeko n'agendako mu kareeda ako katulabeyoko agenda okutuukayo nga okay there is at least something. Well, it may not really necessarily be red or green or yellow or what, but I want to believe crossing from one party to another, and it is common these days. We've seen people cross, and there are few choices.
Because
the choices are not as many as we expect or even want, and even starting a new party is costly.
It's costly. Actually, every election year we see a new party.
A new party.
Anytime it's coming.
It is coming. They are in the process of registration.
But what are you talking about? We already have one from MP from Masaka, Matthias
Mpuga, also Dr. Kiza Besje is
coming back.
He's registering a party. They left the FDC.
The FDC had become something else. Anyway, guys, putting that aside, because me, I get disappointed by the fact that we are sweet-talked. When someone is going to parliament, we are sweet-talked. You see those, I don't know if they are called themes or motion, steadfast progress to deliver to the people, social development. And when people reach there, I think money becomes money to a point that they forget to serve the people. At the end
I think also nothing by citizens or loans to any high expectations in the people that we vote. Sometimes which expectations are beyond the scope of their work as MPs. Yes.
And Stuart, we have people who are in parliament but have never said a word.
But do you realize, okay, I'm going to relate it to what Jane has said. Because not everybody goes there through a political party. Ngawe to government, if you go as an independent person, your say is not much. Because toina back up. Ntine wande to implement. Toina bantu baku. You don't have that pushing force. Unlike someone, I need this whole backup. Nti ele jako sanga bantu batabaina that backup. Not all, some. They have implemented what they're supposed to implement. Kubanga baina, they are working together. Ne you as an independent party. Oja kwa sana lusenza no kuba in power and the people asking, tuamsindikane atukole dechi. You've not fulfilled what you promised.
For me, my issue is that the expectations that we have in regard to the people that we send in parliament or the leaders, and even if it's LC and all, the fact that yes, we have the expectations, but also the demand. We demand a lot from them. For example, during campaign season, we put a lot of pressure on these people, and we end up sucking the life out of them to the point that they have nothing. Now, when they get into these places, positions, they have first of all to
compensate themselves.
You've sucked the life out of them. They've mortgaged their houses.
Who has sucked the life out of them?
The pressure.
Who has sent them?
No, because I mean, for example, I may come with an honest motive of leading you, but you, my voter, say, man, if you don't have 10 million, I see you have the numbers that I want.
But by the time you get in that position, there is a price to pay.
There is a price to pay,
yes.
And that is the price to pay. And now the price is too high. So now by the time I get there, I am definitely not going to think about
tell me for the first year.
Bandage up.
Talking about Okwena Zako Mwako Busoko Ranejidako, we have people who have never gone back to their constituencies, and they are coming back towards the end of this year to seek for votes.
Like for real?
Yes, because when they go to their constituencies every week,
the expectation is
buli week waliyo graduation, waliyo institutions.
Ate no abalozi nabo abalozi baba kusuubira okuba supportinga in everything there.
Bakulinze ozike ate bozisa amabugo ga mitwalo 10
mu byomulamba.
Nedda, at least you played at least you played your part. At least you played your part. There is a gentleman that I was told about recently. You know how you be in or today I wonder, you hear people talking about the different MPs, how they are performing. Nagambo nomusajja muto naye he has a team on ground. Nti ayinza obutajja kuziika naye ayina abamutuukira, like you feel his presence. Yes, nebagamba MP atuwadde akungubagiza ne zino sente. Yeah, like you feel his presence even when he's not there. You can feel it. So me, I want to believe at times it doesn't really matter how much you give, but let the people feel you. Let them feel your presence.
You is also a price, because I'm not going to send you for free. I am definitely going to send you 100k, then you declare 50k. Ate kati nze mu balonzi abange bajagamba ye MP.
But it's up to you, Jen, to choose the right committee.
Let me tell you something. The right committee needs transport. Whether you like it,
give that transport.
No right committee. Anti kati nze transport owange mitwalo 10. Kati nze kuweereza mitwalo 10 gendo nyambe kozike. Gojeke ekitundu kyo. Kubanga nawe sikusuubira nti
nokolera bwere. Nzijukidde Stuart bwe tugamba abantu mbu aba contestinga ne bawayo ambulances. Mayi batenkozibugira.
That particular news made headlines globally. Naye last week
naye nga mwali mulayo ambulance ya tukutuku.
Sisabangako. Ekola naye si
yali ofa eri mugayi yali wepe
la eriko ne sticker y'omubaka
eriko ne sticker
naye gonda, you know, our MPs mu campaigns za 2021 akalolwa I witnessed a number of MPs abagula ambulances nene zituuka nga ze personal vehicles mwe batambulira nga MP bw'aba agenda okuziika tagendera mu agendera mu ambulance.
Lwaki
alina okulaga abantu nti constituency already agigulidde ambulance nga temunnaba nakumulonda.
Oh my God.
Kakati after that bwe munaamala okumulonda agenda teekayo bira naye. You know what happened after the election? These ambulances lizalinga nga zabwerere nti ojja tuwaayo emitwalo kale 3 oba 5. After election ambulance netuuka nefuuka emitwalo 12. Bw'oba togirina yeggwa amanyifiira
naye nga amaze okuyitamu.
Naye kubanga, what do people have to say about new districts being created? For example, Toro is going to be dissected into 3 particular districts. Having very many MPs in the parliament and also URA imposing taxes on people, maybe we should have 50 MPs, you know, perhaps knowing them by face and number. I
saw a proposal of a young man who was suggesting that Kasese district also has to be
divided.
You know, but the land doesn't continue.
Of course it doesn't, it's increase. But yes, the getting new districts definitely impacts on the taxpayer. How? Because a new district needs an MP, needs a woman MP, it needs a youth representative, it needs councillors, it needs
chairmans.
Yes, and there needs to be a, you know, a chitebe where and all that administrative work, so administrative. So it definitely impacts. But I also want to believe, and if only that was the case, that because of the vastness or the way the area is large, once dissected, if only the resources were trickling down as they are supposed to trickle down, because a new district is supposed to extend services to the
people.
wananchi, the lowest person, you see, on ground. That woman that doesn't have money to go to a health center. So now creating a new district is supposed to bring down resources to that person, but it has, I don't know if it is really working out very well as it is on paper, because on paper it is beautiful, but setting it up, because we have seen the challenges with new districts. For example, you can have a new district set up, but the topography and the way the
geographical,
yes, the geographical scope and all. Again, okusanga this one is on a hill, this one is on a mountain, this one is kwegamba accessing it also, even accessing the district offices, accessing medical services, like it's still a problem.
Omuntu asuggesting okusala mu district naye awo agenda okugamba nange mutuyambe mutukuyetingire naffe district eyaffe because of the topology. Kakati challenges ziri mu topology eno nti access nzibu. Bwe tunaabeera ne district eyaffe tujja kufunamu access, bajja tukolera oluguudo olutuukako amangu, you get it? So those are some of the reasons oli zagenda okuwa, much as it will look like a challenge, naye ate oli agenda okuwanga reason for them to approve creating a new district.
Friends, let's also explore the aspect of safety, because elections comes with violence, especially in Uganda. And we have seen people lose their lives in the instances of maybe honestly bargains of voting and things turn around. Kampala North by-elections, and all those incidents.
And even recently, you remember when some home was ambushed, and they said that I think these kids were trying to carry on their own elections, and one of the journalists was affected. Yes, security would try, because now remember, these people, they just got into this person's home, like they even broke into their home, and this involved some MPs that we know. I saw a video where the people are saying, you don't even have a right to get into my home. So I don't know how far someone can go with security until if someone can even have access to enter your gate without your permission, just to see what you are doing in your home, which I believe it's your home, it's your privacy. Until, okay, there are boundaries you should not cross, unless our homes belong to the government. That is my opinion. So yes, we can try. And I think now this should go back to your safety should be a responsibility. Kubanga, and very many people are actually very scared about these coming elections. Very, very many people feel threatened.
Pastor Chris or
There are so many prophecies on Uganda regarding
the elections.
What we are going into, the elections, and but I want to believe this one has to be everyone's mandate. And starting from me, the voter. Because if, for example, I went to my voting station and I cast my vote and I left peacefully and went back home.
In your house?
And in my house. And I left the Electoral Commission to do its part. I don't think the security can come for me in my house and start beating me up. I want to believe that if I kept peace, starting with me, the thing is that we incite violence by ourselves. No time. Because you cause commotion even where there is no need for commotion. Oyo takute bupapula bubiri no sasamaza. Kati gwe bw'osasamaza, security definitely has to come and mark you. For the sake of their 1,000, they will mark the 10.
So that means that when someone is at the polling station, they should mind their own business.
They should, please, go vote. As a matter of fact, we should let our people know that right now, the process that the Electoral Commission is doing right now is to go for you to go and cross-check if your name is in that register. If your name is in that register, that process is already ongoing. Please go to your polling station where you usually vote, where you went and you registered. Kubanga, there are those that changed from polling station to another. So please, you go and check out your name if it is in the register and confirm. If it is there on the day of voting, go vote, go back home and keep quiet.
You know, I love the Electoral Commission chairperson, Justice Simon Jawakama. He has continued to echo and told media houses that as much as the 2026 general election is coming, mwewali okulanga elections results
Stanafuluma
mbwate ku polling station eno ono ya
chasinze
ate wali Susan kuolanga kigwe sigwe akulira okulonda okulonda n'okulanga ebivudde mu kulonda kwa one that the law mandates the Electoral Commission to declare results. Why are you, for example, declaring even to... as we left this polling center, there Angel was winning. But here, Stuart is now taking the lead. Why are you... Because when you say that, even me who is at home, so no kangende ndabeko ogenda okufulumya bwotyo omutwe
They had those buzz on TV, which be
showing, and then they even do the percentages.
It's not allowed. It's not allowed
because that is what Justice Byamukama was saying. Because the last election, there is TV stations that went ahead to declare the
instead.
No wonder we have to. But do you know that we? Okay.
We have.
Rumor has it that we have to president.
Now why? Because there is a center within a center. You let the Electoral Commission do its job.
Yes.
Me, I want to believe that the people, for example, Stuart has said that he was part of the observers. I want to believe, Stuart, you did your job and you did it well. You went there and observed. Are there people who are taking 2 ballot papers? No. Are there people that are taking thrice? No. Are there people that have stuffed ballots? No. If that is a no, let the one who is from EC count the votes.
Yes.
And they count them openly. Stuart Angel kati ababala nabo kababale
Anti babala tuliao
mulinde Electoral Commission byefulumiza
anti babala tuliao
anti kati bino bigenda ku Electoral Commission nelanga kati netalinga netandika okulanga kati kubanga kati Electoral Commission bwebange ina kino bwe wati bingo ina kino kiba kigenda tusasa
olaba Jane kigenda tusombwamu ekyo because if let's say in Munyonyo tuba tulina polling station tumaze okubala kubanga officer you're going to count, right? Stuart mubala ne mugamba wane Munyonyo zino zetufunye kati kyeka ku buli polling station kwako amawulire yenaweereza ku house yaabwe n'abagamba be Munyonyo ono yasinze.
It's supposed to be where the media house is allowed okulaga as long as the data boy okulaga
Electoral Commission
kyekityo abadde yogera nti baali balina buzz. It's not kubanga still Electoral Commission yesigaza right for declaring the rightful results. Buyinza okubanga ogamba nti zino zegundi results ezivudde ku polling center bweti oba okuva ku gundi ku Electoral Commission office mu district bweti nate nga Electoral Commission yeyina ekintu kirala so basigaza obuyinza okulangirira kyekituufu. So even other abantu bonna abagenda okudeclaringa balina kufuna that data from the data that Electoral Commission has given.
Atomanye obuzibu obubeerawo nti nno kati gwe ow'amawulire ojja kubeera ku one polling station. Naye Electoral Commission ekunganya from all polling stations from that
Same
area.
community.
And
Yeah.
just to echo, in 2021 generation, 34,684 polling stations.
Isi I think it hired or it onboarded 164,000 officers. You know, and so echo I believe that Twino will close
Of
castle voting castle voting but there are some people who enter into this politics and
Feel like it's rehearsal.
and you know statistics begin to shoot ate katono yafudde ate ono yakoze bwaki, so we need to be on the guard so that our lives are more important than the elections.
Even the people who stay behind after voting, some of those parents
babera bakola
Balinda kubala
anti babe
bamanye
no good. Do you know there are people
bakiyita kukuuma kalulu.
mumanyi waliwo abantu abasigalawo nga maze okulonda balabe obuvudde wano ne bagenda polling station endala in that community bo bagenda babagattira naye nga tebalina buyinza sinaba media house nga causing a lot of noise.
This is what you need to understand. Buli omuntu abeera yeesimbyewo asindika ba representatives okubeerawo mu kubala obululu buno era ne ku gundi twatuzita tallying forms ez'aba candidates. Omuntu oyo abeera asindikiddwa candidate enjo aba alina okubeera ku polling station n'afuna copy n'afuna
Of the results?
eya results eyo gyagenda okulaga kati ebiri ku copies zino zonna birina okuba nga bifaanagana kati gubeera mulimo gwe okuba nga alindirira era oba olina okubeerawo kati
naye kati su bayogerako
As the citizens.
abavoota
olinza okumya akalulu kubanga
Ogenza okagatta.
If not for the-
abantu let us believe it or not naffe abantu tulina ensobi zetukola kubanga kati labayo tuli mu kulonda fine osigaddewo okumya akalulu naye osigaddewo otya
Jen, if not for the violence that ends up at polling stations, kibeera rightful omulonzi okusigalawo na witnessinga okulaba akalulu engeri gye kabeera kakoleki
Katambudde.
actually it's recommended nti jangu olonde oddeyo osobola okusigala naye wabeerawo era to demarcating wabeerawo demarcation olina okustayinga out of those demarcations n'abasirikale ababeerawo bakubuulira nti beera side wet kaakati bw'obanga osobola gwe ngozeewaka osobola okukomawo no witnessinga akalulu nga kabalibwa okumanya ekivudde ku gundiyo eyebeera right yo nga gw'omulonzi if not for the violence kati we babagaanira kubanga still ebitongole ebikwasisa amateeka police or even the military mostly the police balina right okugamba nti bannaago okusinzira embeera nga bwe tugiraba essaawa eno muveewo
mugende ewaka
naye ebeera right yo nga omulonzi
tugimanyi
ebeera right yo nga omulonzi
right tugitegedde naye kati nze my response nze gyenjogerako kubanga kati response yange awo yegenda okuleeta either okulaba whether the security enyongerayo kubanga obuzibu obubeerawo wama buli nti no mu polling station yange omuntu wange bw'abanga awangudde in that place nino kikkirizanga omulonzi nti ate mu sente eri ayinza obutawangula kakati nze I cannot declare my candidate a winner because wano yawangudde kakati obuzibu obubeerawo nti no kati ffe tuwangudde ne tugenda nga tulina ebisi tudduka tuli ku boda ne tugenda eri ne tusanga yate birala batubbye batobye because eno nawangudde kwegamba response y'abalonzi yeleeta eno attention neleeta all these things.
Stuart agambye mbwino omupolisi ayina right ekugamba go, but you see that brings some insecurities. No, you know why? You know what I'm saying? Because okay, if you're going to ask some voters to leave, I would get to think that mwagala kubabulu.
No, not that.
Police, yo omulimo gwayo ku polling station. Kubeera kwasisa kubeera kukuma mirembe ku polling station eyo. Okitegeera. Kubanga they are I'll cite this example. Mu kalulu ka 2021 there were polling stations ze twatyanga nga bwe twali mu training. Nga bagamba katukuteeke ku polling station bweti ne mugamba abantu beeyo bakuba emiggo okitegeera wawo polling station gye sitagenda kumentioninga zaalinga bbiri fenna baali batugamba nti gwe katukuteeke ku polling station bweti nga tugamba nze eyo temunteekayo abantu beeyo bali violent era nga ne mukundi omwo nga balondamu omuntu gwe balaba nti agenda kusobola okuspeakinga up to people okitegeera kati ebintu nga bino bye bisobola okuleetera owa police abapoliisi abaliwo okugamba okusinziira ku ngeri gye tulaba embeera mwenna muveewo ate tajja kugamba nti gwe vaawo gwe sigalawo nno agamba mwenna muveewo kubanga kati wano wagenda without nga tafuddeeyo oba oli wa kibiina ki oba owagira muntu kyokitegeera so bineeno bino bibeerawo because of what the voters can do okitegeera naye nga ebeera right yo nga gwe omulonzi okujja okubeerawo n'olaba akalulu ke walusudde nga kabalibwa but remember results zofunye ku polling station emu size zidetermininga the polling stations.
Friends, there is just one more bullet that I would want to shoot. What would be a recommendation to the Christian fraternity, especially taking on political spaces?
Please go and take up those positions. Stand for those positions. The Bible says, blessed is a country who has the God of Israel as their God. Bonabeera mu kifo ekyo ekyobukulembeze gwe ng'omulokole gwe ng'omuntu amanyi Katonda ogenda kukola difference ate ne interest z'obwakabaka bwa Katonda zigenda kubeera prioritize. Ensonga lwaki tufundikira nga tukaayana tugamba bannange abakulembeze baffe bali enguzi abakulembeze kaakati gwe asobola okukulembera nga tolidde enguzi. Go and stand for that position.
It's very important.
G, over to you.
In regard to the Christian or okay, yeah, it is. It's our mandate. We are called upon to take up these positions because if we don't.
Okusaba mu nnimi tukikoze. Ekyokusiiba tusiibye. Scripture.
Tumanye okusiiba, tumanye okwogera mu nnimi naye bannange let us take up these positions. They are not for the evening.
This notion of politics is a dirty game. It's not for us. No.
Go and make it clean.
Go make it clean.
Go and make it clean because now you know better. You go and do what you're supposed to do. Civic education, and it is your civil right to take up these positions as a Christian. As a matter of fact, it is very right for you as a Christian to use the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that you have from the Word of God and go and use it in the world.
Well, me, I would say that now, okay, you've gotten into power as a Christian. Be of integrity. Do what you have promised. Like, represent us well, please. Represent us well. Do what is right. Bobelo ogenze twatugambe enguzi nyingi in Uganda. Do your part. As they have said that if you feel like it's a dirty game, make it clean. Don't go with this thing of because it's a dirty game you're going to go with the flock. No. Do what is right. Fulfill what you have promised. So that by the time you're out of power, we have something to say or you have something to show for the time that you're in power. That's what I have to say to the Christian fraternity.
Friends, me, I'm getting an impression that when people get into parliament, wabadde awulira mitwalo abiri kakadde kamu kakadde bubiri. The guys must be speaking about big money. I can give you 100 million. I can give you 200 million. That's small money. It is small money. 95 million jabadda ayenga agamba nti kitegeeza wano waliwo ekinyusi. You know, a reporter says ekinyusi, bring us ekinyusi. So as you get into the parliament, don't conform because of money, because eventually look at the speaker they arrested over iron sheet Nanduto. You know, we saw her vocal, we saw her saying, hey, corruption must end, and you know, now we are seeing that she's in court. She's been sick all through. So,
now you know, someone said recently, I read on someone's status Ngagamanti, what do Wagamba not to be excited over money, and someone said that what if your character of being humble, it's because you've not yet seen money? Once you're exposed to money, because I mean, you promise us so many things. Now, once they give you the money, you're humble. But where is that? How much do they earn? How much do they earn? MPs?
So we want to believe that the humility they have is real humility. And integrity is really
Auntie Yena Gamba, Auntie what if it's ignited because of
It's not even our tiff money, as long as you smell real money.
It's necessary. We are just saying, because by the way, you know, the more you grow up and the more you get exposed to things, you get to understand who you are.
We are not
Stuart right now
about it.
Money
will always bring out your true character.
One way I can make a spirit lead me where I can pick $1 million. Ordinary response and let me walk on pounds.
Dollars. But anyway, friends, we want to call it a wrap right here, and we want to encourage you to go and contest
in your constituencies and represent the people. Stay loyal, stay true to your word,
and serve this country, Uganda. We'll be bringing you, of course, the developing stories and news around the elections, but also we continue to say be safe. Era twagala kulisaya abana abakomyewo mwebala kubanga mubayo kusomero. It's going to be a wonderful holiday as parents. Make sure nti abana bali safe. Keep an eye on them. Era right now we want to close it up. From us to you, we want to say thank you. Catch up tomorrow and make sure you're following us on our social media handles. Coming up is the kindergarten. From us to you, we say
bye.